What's going on, my people? Y'all already know what it is. I'm T,
And I'm Jackie.
and we've been hiding this for some time now. How many days has it been?
It's been a while. It's been almost 2 weeks.
Almost 2 weeks?
Because I got the dates wrong.
Well, y'all see what it is.
Yeah.
We are here.
Yep, we're in
We
Panama.
are here. We are here. We made it. We made it, y'all. It's definitely been, a journey, to say the least. It's something that we've been planning for some time, and you guys have been following us for a while. We started this from our original channel. We were like, hey, this is what the channel is about.
Right.
And we were like, okay, we gotta get there, but then the hiccups came with the property because of the tenant destruction and things like that. But we ain't let it stop us.
Nope.
We are here.
Yep.
Man, you can see.
We had to keep pushing.
We had to keep pushing.
Had to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And the last couple of days, just to go into what T was mentioning, it was a real true testament on whether or not we were going to stand up to whatever was coming our way. I mean, we have our main home, our home that we live in, that flooded out.
Mhm.
We have the tenant dispute with the HOA in one property. We have another property, a whole nother issue that we're not even going to get into right now. But all of that negativity, y'all, did not stop us from coming and leaving and pursuing our next leg on this.
Yeah, what Jack just mentioned is, travel chaos,
Travel
with
chaos.
the house flooded, and even the day of, we were still waiting on we're waiting on a card to come in the mail, and that was even delayed for some reason. There was like so many delays, and then the stressors, on top of that, especially with the house flooding. But then at the same time, that excitement was there, like, hey, we are actually getting out of here.
Right.
Down
Driving
to even
Miami.
Yeah, down to even the trip. We didn't fly out of Tampa, or Orlando. Like Jack said, we left Miami, so we hit the road and went to Miami and got out of here. And that should have took us about 4 hours and some change, but the trip turned into what, seven?
Yeah, about a 7 hour
hours
drive.
and some change to get there. And even when we arrived at the hotel, it was different because we went to, it was like what was it? They controlled
Yeah,
the
they
entire
control
sections
the
over there.
entire section. And we walked in the wrong hotel. They said, no, you're not here. You're in that other hotel. It was a big mix up. And you could tell the whole time it was blockers. Like, I don't know if anyone has ever tried to do anything that they weren't, people just keep trying to prevent you from doing. We seen it in real time. Like, nothing was working right. And we kept saying, because they do not want us to leave. That's what it is. And we said, I don't care. We're not getting mad, because there were really things that were like really testing our patience during this whole process. But we said, whatever, we push it forward. Forget everybody.
Yeah, and I mean, when we left the hotel, we got to the airport very quick. We were like,
Very
okay.
quick. It's like 5 minutes.
Yeah, if anybody flew Miami, y'all know it's very, chaotic to say the least. So, I mean, the notorious reputation, if you're not sure about it, literally go look up, flying, Miami. Look up the headaches with flying out of Miami.
Especially
You will see,
international.
the treatment, from the staff, how they operate. In short, they're typically very, very rude. It's like they're trying to prevent you from flying. The workers will be conversation, together, running their mouth, talking about you and things like that. And so when we got there very, very early. We got there, what, 3-4 hours?
Yeah, it was about
Ahead of the
3.5
flight.
hours early.
3.5 hours prior to the flight.
Because that's what it said.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that there was no hiccups, and it's how packed it gets there on top of that. But to our surprise, it wasn't hardly anybody flying.
Nothing.
It's hardly anybody flying. So we got through in, what would you say?
It was
35.
less than 30 minutes. It was, and this is from ticketing, because we had to go validate the passports because they wouldn't let us do it in the app. all the way through TSA. We're talking about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
30 minutes. That's
Yeah.
it.
And the only issue really was that one of the TSA workers. She had a attitude. Like I said, the attitudes were there. About the bags because you gotta literally like force them through yourself manually. Now, so that was one of the hiccups. But we didn't care about that little attitude. We not stopping what we doing. We ain't got time for that.
Exactly.
And then we had another incident where our daughter she lost one of her
Stuffed
stuffed
animals.
animals that she had on her, and she was panicked, over that. But other than that, we got through, in no time, and so, we a lot of seats there, and we're like, okay, well, we're gonna sit and relax, for a couple hours.
Yeah, for 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
So once we got to the airport and it was time to get on the plane, once again, it was no hiccup. And, shout out to Copa Airlines because that was my first time flying them. I've never flown them before, but that was the only direct flight that we could get at the time to come to Panama. If it was my preference, I probably would have flew Delta, but I'm not stopping. I didn't want to transfer or anything like that. But they were really, really nice. Like the entire staff, they were very personable. They were understanding. Of course they speak Spanish initially, but then when they ask, they switch over to English. So it was very, very great. The flight was really cool. I told T I didn't even feel like this was 3 hours. And he said it was definitely 3 hours because I got on there and I K'd. Did you go to sleep on the flight?
No,
Oh.
I sat beside our daughter, and it was no, it's no sleeping beside her to say the least.
Oh my goodness.
I don't get my ears don't get a break.
Right.
Yeah. So, but real quick, how many of you guys guessed it right? That's
Right.
what I want to know real quick. Hopefully you made it this far in this video. How many of you guys guessed it right?
Because
I want to know who got it right in the comment section.
Exactly. We seen we seen y'all getting real close. Real close. And then when we posted that picture, I didn't even notice that when we post that picture of like all the places that it's seen. I thought it was like the one for Copa. It was but they said Turkey and stuff, kind of threw y'all off, just to try to make sure you're still with us. So
yeah, and so I mean, once we landed, I mean, we had it was very interesting experience. Just real quick, I would say first thing that we noticed was something I researched was how aggressive the taxi cab drivers are. And we're like, we already good on that. We're taking them, but they're like, oh, come on. And what they do, we'll get into that in later detail, but they definitely try to hit you good, hit your pockets good.
Right. And it's all different prices, no rhyme or reason why it is the price. But as T mentioned, we'll get into that, what to avoid.
Yeah, because the prices is completely different from Uber and compared to taxi. And like I said, we'll talk about how they are in little tips and tricks because they definitely tried to be very, very slick.
Right.
I mean, very, very slick.
Make you feel like
about going about even getting to your destination. This ain't the video for that to go deep into that right now.
Right.
I want to talk about something else real quick about the weather because when we were leaving Miami, they kept saying what, Jack?
It was very humid. It's the humidity.
Yeah.
You're going to feel it. It's really thick and all of that. And honestly, this is my opinion. T probably has his opinion. But this to me right now, because this is the rainy season, it's comparable to Miami. It's a little bit higher in humidity. A little bit higher, but it's not unbearable. Yep. But I mean, if you live in Florida, this would probably not be much of a change to you. But if you don't, man, you just have some water. Just have some water, have something. Make sure you wear the right type of clothing. when you land, because this will definitely do something to some people that's not used to
Yeah,
the humidity.
I think, I mean, it's something that you can feel the difference, but it's not like the difference is excessive,
Right.
to say the least. So that's what I would say with the weather. And then just like Florida, it's been raining a good amount here. So, that's what's been going on there. And just with the ride, I want to jump back real quick with the Uber because Jackson laughing
No,
before I even talked about this. So we get in the Uber and he look, she's still laughing, y'all, about I ain't even got into it. She don't know what I'm about to say. I could be saying anything, right? But get in the Uber, and he asked basically for, I can't remember the exact code, but he asked for the pen. It's the pen. He asked for the pen, and Jack is like 8 8 something, and the guy looked like he's like okay, like, and so I'm like, Jack, it's ocho, and I'm speaking the the right numbers, in Spanish, because Jack is just. I'm like, Jack,
I'm just
you have to understand, this is not English, is not the native, language. While they do speak, English here is not the primary language here, but Jack, everything, y'all, like everything, Jack is just going to people, just English, just I'm like, Jack, stop, take the time to listen, learn a little bit of the language,
No, I
like
definitely have to learn the language. But like I mentioned to T and some of y'all, if y'all been following, I took 4 years of French. And French is definitely different than Spanish. So I'm just like, okay. So even downstairs today, when a lady asked me a question, I answered
it's
French.
like
I was like, oh my goodness. She told me, you're gonna have to learn some Spanish. I was like, yes, I am gonna have to learn some Spanish. So Babbel, if you're watching this, make sure you come sponsor us. But I'm just saying, no, seriously, all jokes aside, you could definitely use like the translation apps and stuff like that. Everybody, when it came to the barrier, the Spanish barrier, I feel like it was very respectful. And even if they couldn't speak English, what we seen was they would go and find somebody to come to us to be able to ask the questions that we needed. And obviously T can speak, I guess what you would say, like light conversational Spanish.
I mean, it's very, very basic because it's
Yeah.
been for forever. So it's very basic, and I know how to listen to particular words
Mm-hmm.
that I will know, and then I can kind of connect the dots. But here they speak it a lot
It's
faster
very
than
fast.
what I've been used to. Like with Costa Rica, I was more okay, and here they're speaking a lot faster.
So overall, what would you say is your first initial impression of Panama? And I'll give mine. Like it's the first initial impression.
My first impression would be it's a very welcoming place. The locals are very, very welcoming. I give an example. So, because like I said, with the fast pace, one of the guys actually pulled out his phone and pulled up the translate. I'm like, okay, okay, it's
Yeah,
usually,
let's get this started, right?
he hit it before me, but I was on par with what he was saying somewhat, because like I said, I always try to catch particular words, and in instances, in certain cases when I don't get it, because when it goes back and forth with me, they're thinking, okay, I'm no fully fluent, but I'm far from fluent.
Right.
I just know the phrases and the words of a couple things, and but it was interesting they pulled it out. So I say they're very, very welcoming and helpful, so far. And then the weather, it's a tad bit more humid than Florida, for example. So that's my first impression, I would say, so far.
So I think that my first initial reaction is similar to what T mentioned, but just like any place, I would just be mindful that anytime you are in an unfamiliar territory, there does become an opportunity. I would probably say an opportunity for people to be dishonest. and charge you more than what you should be charged, right? But how do you know when you're not even here? Perfect example was everything that happened at the airport with the taxi drivers. And I'm glad that we had that experience because now we can speak on that experience, because I was the one, I was like, oh yeah, I want the person there with my sign and say, hey, welcome, Jackie. But 3 different people, 3 different prices, that's not cool. But then when we came to our location now, that Uber driver, in my opinion, he was very honest. Like he was
Yes,
very honest. He
very
did
honest.
not have to do what he did because what happened was, and we can talk about this in another video too, things to watch out for. Things out here, when you put things into Uber, make sure you're using the building because it doesn't always necessarily pull up by the address because they go by landmarks and stuff like that. So although it brought us to the wrong location, he, by T and his, I guess you can say your, pulling out your translator app and getting everything together, he was able to bring us to the right location by looking at like the pictures and stuff like that was not pulling up on these various apps. And we were like, okay, so how much is it? And he said, oh no, just tip through the app. Now, someone else would have been like, oh, okay, well, it will be this much. But no, just kept it straight honest. And even here with the people that work the front desk here, they were very honest. They told us, look, this is where you want to go. These are the apps you want to download. This is how you want to do it. So I think that just by being on the lookout and really understanding, really trying to communicate, it will definitely come across differently. And we experienced the same thing in Costa Rica. That's how we were able to navigate as well.
I would say something too about far as not what we expecting because that's something that people always typically jump into because they'll bring the U.S. ways to another location. I would say the food, fast food restaurants. So McDonald's, for example, it's completely different.
And we're doing
Like
a whole video
yeah,
on
we
that.
we will go into that, and it's not different for the worst. It's actually different for the better.
For the best.
It's
And
so
we
weird.
never thought we would say that. But
Then you have Popeyes that's like different from the worst. So the traffic is initial impression of traffic was definitely crazy. I mean, they drive like they drive in Costa Rica, basically. I would say that. What do you
it's like New York. If you had to compare it to something, it's like driving in New York on a little bit more because at least they have the right of ways and they know they will stop. We were in the car. I was like, oh my goodness, I was clenching. I just knew he was about to hit that car. But I guess they all get it, right? I'm just a nervous one.
What I said with that was what was something, like I mentioned, the food, was it something that you would say that's not what was expected?
I would probably say the price of the groceries.
Oh yeah,
my goodness.
That's a video.
That's a video that we're gonna get into because of course we have to go grocery shopping. But y'all, when y'all see these prices of the grocery, I was like, what? What? Oh my goodness. I was just really excited about that because I like grocery shopping. I like doing weird things like that. So I'm looking at the prices and stuff like that. It was pretty good. And the ease of use of the same apps that we use in America. Uber. Like Uber works out here, even though they have their own app that they prefer. But y'all, I'm telling you, like, Uber is like,
that's part of why we did it though, Jack.
Mhm.
The dollar, USD
yeah.
is here. That's a part of why we did this. Like you said with the Uber, those are both familiar items, for example. And then what else would you add to that list?
I would probably say the ease of just seamlessly coming over here. Y'all, when I tell you that this was the easiest thing it's like moving to a state. Now, I'm not talking about like when we talk about visas and stuff like that. I'm just talking about we were just in America. We came over here. We were able to pretty much use everything that we were using in America. I'm talking about even our phone. So some carriers, we have Verizon. Every single month, we get 2 days of international for free. So when T and I both landed here, we had 22 days of international free, and that goes on a monthly basis. So we didn't have to do the whole SIM card thing and anything like that, because as you all know, this is our, this is our trip. So we were like, as soon as we landed, that phone turned on, you put it on data roaming, and then we're good to go. And we haven't missed a beat.
Yeah.
Haven't missed a beat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would say. It was a transition in the familiarity. That was all good. Of course, like T said, it was the USD, and also, y'all, the infrastructure. Like, internet is, well, where we are, the internet is very, very fast and reliable. We haven't had an outage at all.
Yeah. So that's been solid so far. And I mean, with the picture, I posted a picture on my channel and some like cool background, cool view from the balcony. So we'll actually do a tour of this place in an upcoming video. We'll show you guys that. So that's all I have for this video.
Yep, that's all
something else we got for this one.
Nope, that's all I have for this video. We're excited. We are in Panama.
And tired.
Yes, tired and excited and in Panama. But we have a lot of content coming up across all the channels, across all 3 of the channels. And we have a lot of collaborations that are going to be happening. So that's going to be really, really interesting. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop it in the comment section
and put
down
who guessed it right and who guessed
below.
it wrong.
Well, but we're gonna know who guessed it right and wrong because we put out the poll. So we're gonna know if you guessed it right or wrong. So, but until next time, you guys, peace out.
See ya.